Welcome back, Cameron. I appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us. I get bio sheets on everything that's coming up. Obviously, we talked before back when you were with Legacy, and
Yes, sir.
your rise was far too long. Like, you could have been jumped up to the big show a lot sooner. I thought your talent was amazingly good so early. But I have to ask you. You go on some of the websites and you look at your nicknames. Some of them have you as the Nigerian Nightmare, which is your nickname that you want to run with. And
Yes.
I'm an old school football guy, so as Christian Okoye to me was the Nigerian Nightmare, and always will be. But I definitely like it that you have it too, because it fits the motif. But sometimes I see Marty the Nigerian Nightmare. Like, what the hell is Marty, and why is that even? It makes no sense to me. What's going on? First of all, how'd that come about, having Marty?
The nickname was given to me by my high school coach, and it was just, when I went into high school, I never heard of wrestling, collegiate wrestling, and so I wanted to play football, and I was a football player, and so I'm walking by the wrestling gym one day, and this big white dude, big buff dude, and he had a buzz cut, he looked like he was in the military, you could tell, and he looks at me, and I'm a scrawny little kid, 5'2", 103 pounds. And he goes, "Why don't you come in here and try wrestling?" And I never heard of it, so I was like, "No, I don't want to get hit with chairs and dropped on my head." And so that was the only wrestling I had heard of and I seen. And so he goes, No, this is wrestling. This is actual wrestling. Why don't you come in here and try it? And I said, I don't know. And after a while, after 3-4 months, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go in and try it. So I went in and to try it. And keep in mind, we never exchanged names. He never knew my name. So I go in and, of course, the coaches get this sheet of all the students that are coming into their classrooms. So he's calling off the names, and he gets to my name. And my full name is Kamaru Dean. And so he looks at it, and he's like, okay, wait, I'm not going to say that. And he looks at me, and I'm looking right at him, and he goes, I'm going to call you Marty. You look like Marty, so I'm going to call you that. And I was just like, I was a scrawny little kid. I'm like, you know what? All right, that's fine. Next thing you know, the whole team starts calling me that. It sticks on the team all 3 years that I was wrestling. And then when college coaches would call to try to recruit me, they would say, hey, we're looking for this Kamaru Dean kid. And he goes, oh, that's Marty? Yeah. And so now they started calling me Marty, and they just bled over to college. And then even after I got out of college, it just international scene. So that was just how I was known. And so once I got out of the wrestling scene, I kind of wanted to just shed that name and drop it. But it's kind of following me everywhere.
Well, that's part of the problem now with the internet and social networking. Like, all of your old coaches will pop up. All of your old teammates will pop up. All of your old girlfriends will pop up and be like, oh, yeah, that's Marty. That's my buddy Marty. But I'm not Marty. A friend of mine, Townsend Saunders, who wrestled, you may remember him. He won in Atlanta. He won the silver. He used to go by Junior when he was in college. And then he just, for 3 years, just was like anybody, he wouldn't respond. He just would not respond at all. No one's allowed to call him. He said, no, my name is Townsend. And he made people start calling him Townsend Saunders. And that's just how it was. But a lot of guys wrestled with him at Cal State Bakersfield were like, no, man, that's Junior. Like, no, it's not. It's Townsend now. So it takes a little bit, but I will never again ever use the M word then around you. It'll always be Nigerian Nightmare. That's just what's going to be. I like that nickname better. Although I do like the story how you got the other portion of the nickname, but I won't mention it because I understand.
Thank you.
If you have a choice, you definitely want to. You may not be able to choose your nickname, but you want to choose what people call you eventually. It's like you get stuck with tiny. The fat guy gets tiny. The guy that big nose Johnny, and you get all these things, and sometimes you're like, look, you just got to drop it. So well. I love that story, and it's kind of neat how it follows you for so long, even though you're usually when you jump to college, my Frank is not my first name; it's my middle name. Franklin's my middle name, and when I go to college, all the professors call me by my full official first name, which is Dewey. So I'd be called Dewey in college, and then my college coaches would get the sheet and would have, even though they knew me as Frank, they would recruit me, but I would go down and get a gear or whatever, and still be under Dewey name. Everything was under Dewey, so that's what I had to deal with. So. I get it, having weird names getting thrown out. But usually in college, you'd think it'd be Kamaru Dean. That's just what it would be because that's just your name. It'd be, it's at worst they'd call you Dean. like at worst.
Yeah.
But getting to that other word, I don't get it. So anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about Leon Edwards. He's your opponent that's coming up. You're 6-1. He's 10-2. It's UFC on Fox 17, December 19th in Orlando, Florida. It's a great place to be to have a fight in December is in Florida. It's still warm enough where you're not going to be. It's not going to be freezing outside, but it's also not as humid, which makes it a little bit more difficult to make weight though, because when it's more humid, it's easier to kind of cut weight naturally. How is your weight right now? You're about a week and a half out of the fight.
I woke up this morning at 182.1, and
Okay.
so that was before practice. And so I've trained twice today, and I'm actually having dinner right now, some broccoli and some salmon and a little bit of rice. So that's never an issue for me, that weight. I've just so many years of competing in wrestling and having to make weight. It's just taught me. I've basically done all, through trial and error. I've figured out the way that my body works and how to get that down easily. So that's never a problem for me.
So how is this going to equate to with Leon? Because now it's a big deal. Like weight cutting is becoming a big issue in MMA. Guys not being able to recover. Of course, Johnny Hendricks is the biggest story as of late. That had to pull out a fight because he couldn't make weight, and he balloons up historically. He gets well over 200 pounds in between training camps, and then tries to get all the weight off, which is that's just ridiculous. And I've actually talked to Johnny about it. We have an interview up about that. But what's it going to do for you recovery wise? If you're walking into practice, you said 182 this morning before practice. You're about 12 over, which is well within the real house. Everyone talks about being about 15 pounds over is the perfect spot kind of for that weight class and the one above it. How quickly do you feel like what time of day, if they said you had to fight at 3 p.m., would you be fully recovered by 3 p.m. the next
Definitely.
day? Okay.
Definitely.
Whatever they said, 9 a.m., would you be ready to fight at 9 a.m. the next day?
Definitely.
So
I've cut weight and had to compete an hour after, 2 hours after, for years at the highest level, at the collegiate level.
But at this kind of weight, like you weren't cutting 15 pounds, 13 pounds in doing it. You were cutting more like 7 or 8, right?
Yeah, it was about I would say in college I was cutting maybe 12. What is it? I wrestled 174. I was cutting from about 84.
Oh, so
Yeah,
10.
about 84.
Okay.
So yeah, I had it down to where it was weekly because we were competing every week. Every Saturday we were weighing in and competing. And so I would compete Friday or Saturday and then come back Sunday, get all those carbs replenished. And then by Monday I would start, get 2 pounds off, I'd bring it down each day. And, by the Friday or Saturday, I'm down to about 176, 77, and then get that last couple of pounds off and then weigh in and compete an hour after that. And so, yeah, that's never been an issue for me. And it's, I don't plan on having it start now.
Have you had to change anything as far as not necessarily weight cutting, but diet wise or strength conditioning wise to make sure that your weight does stay reachable? Because you have the frame where you could easily be 205, 210 pounds and still have a low percentage of body fat, but just be very big. Like you have that frame where you can put a lot of weight on quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I was just blessed with the ability to. I have this frame, and it looks big, but I'm just extremely light. I've never been over 197 pounds ever in my life, and that was while I was wrestling during my college off season. I tried to put on as much mass as possible, and that's when I even got that high. But nowadays, I never get really over 192. I keep it there, and it's natural. If I don't work out, I don't lift, I don't make it a constant habit, I actually lose weight.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I have to kind of just stay in the gym and work out and actually eat to just keep all that on. But, my diet really is just, it's changed now that, I can actually afford to eat better. It's changed in that aspect. But I always knew how to kind of cut it down, but now it's changed to where I can actually eat good foods and I actually help nourish my body to feel better.
What kind of fighter do you think Leon Edwards is going to be during this fight? Because he comes in a little different every time. He's sometimes a little bit aggressive, sometimes not as aggressive, kind of holds back. Like, who do you think you're going to get this time that you compete against?
To be honest, just studying him and the way he fights, he's a very dynamic guy, dynamic striker, and if he's smart, that's how he's gonna want to finish the fight. Everyone wants to be smart, and so he's gonna try to be very calculated in how he approaches the fight because if he knows he can't get over aggressive, because you get over aggressive, he's gonna end up in a spot where he doesn't want to be. Right. And he's a stand-up guy, and he's very, very, very sharp and very dynamic in that sense. But for me, our room, we have over 30 different guys.
Yeah.
And in here, we'll have guys from anywhere from 125 to, heavy or 205 with Anthony Johnson. And our coach makes us go with each and every person. And so you get a different feel each and every time. So by the time you are in a fight, you're prepared for each and every style that an opponent brings.
How has it been training over there at Jocko Training Center, Black Zillions? Like, has it gotten better since you guys won that little matchup, against ATT? Like, has it gotten better in the room? Has there been more guys showing up and kind of trying to jump on board on the team now?
It's been, since before the show, we've always had a good group of guys, a good hardworking group. And if anybody has visited our gym or been in a gym, they know how we train, and each and every day it can be a rough day for anyone. And, yes, of course, after the show now, more guys, there's more notice and we're more publicized. And so more and more guys want to come in and actually train with our team. And so we get different guys here and there each and every week. But, the core group stays the same. Our coaches keep us grounded and keep us the same. So we train hard and everything's wonderful here.
Any chance of you being able to, let me step back a little bit. You've been nothing but a full-time fighter for a while, right? You've had to work for a little bit. You've been just worried about training?
Yes, sir.
Is there any chance of you breaking away at some point later on in your career and starting your own type of gym and doing that? Are you going to be one of those guys? Or are you just going to break away from the sport, not entirely, but step away from trying to train guys and trying to run gyms and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, with this sport as big as it is nowadays, it opens so many doors. And, as a smart man, as an educated guy, I definitely want to use this as a stepping stone to break away into a different avenue, whether it's commentating, whether it's being, in movies and doing things of that nature. But, this is, the gym life is probably not something that I would want to get into and deal with. As much as I love training and love helping train other guys, I don't think that's an avenue that I would like to get into. I think I would want to do something more in front of the cameras, or, right. I always said I wanted to go back to school, get my counseling degree, professional degree, and be a marriage counselor.
Wow, that wouldn't be too bad. I think it kind of scares some people off, though, if they saw Nigerian Nightmare on your door frame as they're walking. Yeah. Like, I'm not sure I want to be in this. Well, thanks so much for spending some time with us. I know it's dinner time for you, so go ahead and finish your meal. I appreciate it coming on here. Have a great time with the rest of your training camp, and enjoy yourself at your fight next week. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.